with the UFL being in the off season, I want to get a lot of the UFL community's takes. So I asked on Twitter and also TikTok, what is your UFL hot take? So let's get into it, and these are just some of the reactions. First off, we have from Don Battlehawk saying, not having local radio affiliates broadcasting games is slowing the growth. Teams don't have to stay locally to be local, but they have the market local. All season ticket perks should go to existing season ticket owners, no matter when they renew. I agree. I think that local radio affiliates would be great. There's a lot of radio affiliates in the Louisville area and also the St. Louis area. One that I'm actually a part of that I think would be great. Now, I don't know how they would contract with the UFL, but that's another job for someone else. Teams don't have to stay local to be local, but they have to market local. I agree. I live basically in the St. Louis area, around the Metro East area. I have not seen anything except one billboard going to I-64 heading towards St. Louis, and that was about it. And then also the, oh my gosh, my hair's a mess. Then going around little pickup cleanup in the city of St. Louis, and also all season ticket perks should go to existing ticket owners. I agree. I was a season ticket member last year. I'm probably going to renew for the 2027 season. And I agree. I think we should keep getting our perks. I don't know what the new perks are for next year, but I'm very excited. UFL Battlehawk said the UFL lean into kid-friendly nature is lame. I want the edge of spring ball back. I understand what they're trying to do. Just, in my opinion, I think you kind of have to go in the middle. Appreciate the adult audiences, and also the kids, because you can't just have like the gruesome toughness of the UFL or the XFL, what they were doing in kind of today's world, even though I would personally want that. But they're also, the kid-friendly nature is not that bad. You got mascots. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. PSL 4061, or Alt Football Fan, his take is, same take I've always have, put some teams out west, preferably West Coast. And I talked about this in my recent video. I have UFL going to Boise and also bringing back the Seattle Sea Dragons. I think they will put some teams west soon. It's probably not going to be for till like 2032 or 2034, because I do believe Michigan or New Orleans is going to be back first. But I think they'll put some teams out west. But I also think the Midwest region is probably what they're focusing on right now, and also the East Coast. Jalen said USFL should sign Diego Pavia and Brennan Sobey. Oh my gosh, I butchered the name. Would bring more viewers and hype. And who wouldn't want to see them facing each other on a Friday night? I don't know about Diego. It definitely would bring eyes to the UFL and some hype. Brennan Sobey, I think, would be controversial signing. Just because, obviously, his whole... Put him on the Houston Gamblers. That'd be hilarious. Signing both of them would be great. Depends on what team. Like, obviously, I've seen mock-ups to Diego Pavia on every UFL team. Come to the Battlehawks. Brendan Sobey, he would be a Houston Gambler. Mike Rapoli would do that just for the lulz. Viewership would definitely go up. Hype, I don't know. Yeah, I would definitely watch that game. A Battlehawks Gambler where Diego Pavia versus Brendan Sober is definitely, it's like a Saturday or Friday night matchup. I would watch that 100%. Jalen, again with a hot take, saying not really a hot take, but they can be better on marketing and media. Even if you're a fan of the UFL, you see no commercials and news. I agree. They need to put more marketing into, especially to the local areas. With the media, they did do some marketing. I was getting a bunch of Battlehawks ads, but maybe that's just because I live near the city of St. Louis. But the UFL in general, I wasn't really seeing a whole lot of ads. Now, but commercials, I did see a few. I did see a few when I was watching the NFL on Fox towards the end of the NFL playoffs. And news, I mean, they're partnered with ESPN, they're partnered with Fox. It's kind of them to push the news of the UFL, but really kind of this offseason, there's not really a whole lot of news. But once the spring comes up, you gotta market UFL to a bunch, especially in January. Try to get people to season ticket members. Some breaking news. But I agree, they need to market better. Ballsack Teabagger said, Dean Blandino is a dodo, and they need to change how they use replay. I don't know if Dean Blandino is that. He's definitely a problem. Not a lot of people like him. especially me. I think whatever that the other whoever the other UFL like replayer is, I like him better than Dean. Dean Blandino is just inconsistent with his ruling. He calls one thing, but then like the Nets drive, he calls something totally different if they use the challenge. Um, Change how they replay. I don't know. I kind of like how they're doing the replays now, but Dean Blandino does need to go. Prototype Himbo says UFO should start in late February, end in mid to late May. You can't avoid condescending your late season games with NHL/NBA playoffs, both of which take away your regular viewers. So you might as well avoid the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup weeks in June entirely for ratings' sake. I do agree they need to push back. They need to bring forward the UFO season to late February and end in mid May. Obviously the NHL and NFL NHL and NBA playoffs. It's gonna take your viewers away, but I also think spring time there's so much sports going on. You got March Madness, you got both for the playoffs and then the regular season for both leagues. It's you're gonna have the fight for the viewership around the springtime, and that's a thing that UFO kind of has to like soon kind of get their viewers up, even though the viewership were decently a lot of 1 million watch games. But yeah, I do agree they need to bring up to the UFO season starting like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, kind of end of February to start. End of February to early March is the perfect time I think Mike Rapoli is gonna do for 2027. It's just whenever, and also how long the season goes depends. Lightning Jr. says, I believe the perfect number of teams would be between 12 and 16, but done slowly yet surely. I'm just begging the UFO to not expand too quickly like the USFL did in 1984. To make up 10 teams for now, we of course have OKC, and I believe New Orleans should be the 10th team. I think 12 and 16 team is great, especially to like if they're just expanding to 2036 or having to plan 16 teams before 2036. I think it's perfect. I think you roll with 6 teams for a number of years, and then if you want to get to 32, you can do it after 2040. And I also agree that the UFL should not expand too quickly. Obviously, get 10 teams for 2038, and if you want to bring 2 more teams to 2032, or 12 teams to 2032, you can. And OKC, obviously, we got that coming up. I hope it's the Outlaws. And the New Orleans, I believe, will be the 10th team just because of that breaking news with their facility. But yeah, I agree with this take. Glenn DB says, the Renegades should not have never moved away from Arlington. Frisco is way too far north. Nobody would drive up there, and Arlington was much better for fans and the game experience. They need to move back to Tarrant County, and the tennis will go back up. I don't know much about the Arlington like fans perspective about if they should have moved or not. I didn't really much pay attention, but I do agree that they need to stop moving the Renegades and the Gamblers. I do think Renegades being in Dallas was okay last year. Wasn't the greatest. Shout out City SC. Wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. It was just okay. I don't know much about the game experience for the fans in Arlington. If there's any Arlington fans watching this video, let me know in the comments below or in the replies on TikTok. They need to move back to Tarrant County and the tennis will go back up. Maybe. I do think they will move the Gamblers, not relocation, but to a new stadium because that was abysmal. But yeah, I kind of agree with this take, but also kind of disagree. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, that was all the UFL hot takes I have for this week. Make sure if you have any UFL hot takes, let me know in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe to all of our social media platforms of Cult to Call everywhere. We are basically everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. We mostly post on Twitter and TikTok. So if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like. We have future videos planned. I got a little... I'll just pop in an emoji here for my next video. That will be coming next week. Ladies and gentlemen, call is the law. Bye-bye.